Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second day, final day of this wonderful retreat that we've been having with Swami Kripamayananda. For those who weren't here, Swamiji is the head of our Vedanta Society of Toronto and a very dear friend of ours. He's been here many times, and we everybody really enjoyed yesterday's session very much. The session will begin with Swamiji speaking, and then there'll be a break from 10:45 to 11:15, and then we'll have our panel discussion. The panel discussion this morning will be with Prarajika Parvata Pranaji, a senior nun from Sri Ramakrishna Math, who stays at Dakshineshwar, who's written many books and done a lot of research on Swamiji and many of his Western disciples. And Dr. Jeffrey Long, also a very dear friend of ours who has spoken here many times, highly accomplished scholar in Hinduism and Jainism from Elizabethtown College, and has spoken at many of our centers, including Belur Math, because we spoke on the same platform at the same time 10 years ago, I think, today. So we're looking forward to that. Then we'll break for lunch at 12:30. 1:30 to 2, devotional songs, and then we'll have the final session will be at 2 o'clock. Then Maharaj will wrap everything up, and we'll have more time for question and answer then. And then we'll finish with a group photo with everyone. So Maharaj, we request you to begin the session now.
Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. What wonderful music in the morning. So group song was so beautiful and perfect we remembered Holy Mother in the morning, the Adya Shakti. So we begin our second day of the retreat with about Prashnottara Ratna-Malika with verse 7. So the questions are very simple that we often find in our life, but answers are simple but profound answers. So like verse 7 of the Prashnottara Ratna-Malika says, Kasmad bhayamiha maranat. Question is, Kasmad bhayamiha. What is most fearful here in this world? So, most fearful is maranat. Andhadyako vishishyate. Who is supremely blind, blind of the blind, ragi, one who is attached. Kashuro, who is brave, yo lanana lochana varnaina vyatita. It is very like very worldly answer. Who is brave, who is not disturbed by the eye, glance of the eye of a lady or girl. That is what the answer is. It seems very simple answer, what type of answer is that? But if you remember, let us go in detail, then we'll discuss this. So first let us take up what is the source of fear for all. So death. We all know that. Nothing more to explain about the fear of death that we all have. Fear of uncertainty, fear of death. And it's so unfounded to have fear of death, because death is sure to come. What is to fear? That what we are going to get, what we are going to meet. Rather, we should not be afraid, and we should welcome death when it comes. And when it comes, it comes. When it comes, we don't know. But when it comes, you cannot alter a time of death at all. And death is inevitable for everything that is created. Everything that has a form and shape and exists in this universe will have ultimately death. So if the body will die, this planet will die, earth will finish, sun will die, everything will die. So, but yet we are fearful of death. Why we are fearful of death? Now the spirituality comes. How can we overcome the fear of death? So we are fearful of death because of our adhyasa on this body as the self. We consider body as the self, and body will die. But if we know the reality, then fear of death goes away. We are not the body. We are the Atman, the consciousness, that Satchidananda Swarupa, that Satyam Shivam Sundaram, that being which never dies. Even no one can kill it. It is beyond the power of Yama to kill. Yama himself is afraid. In the Upanishad it says, Vishasmad vata pavate visho deti surya Vishasmad agnis indrasa mrityur dhavati panchama iti. Out of fear the mrityu, it runs from soul to soul and takes that there. Of what? Of Visha or Bhaya. Bhaya of what? The rule, the law created by the Lord. That's how even the mrityu, even the death is afraid of to follow the law created by God. So we'll have to follow the law created by God in this transitory world. This body will perish. It changes, it perishes. It undergoes 6 types of changes in life. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, nashyati. So we are in different stages of that. Some of our vardhate, some of our viparinamate, some of our are nashyati. So before nashyati there is a viparinamate, apakshiyate. Apakshiyate, declining body. When we are elderly, a very respectful stage of life, you get a lot of lot of discount from the government because you are now senior citizen. But that also means that we are body is approaching death. So we are a pakshiyate state. So that is what the Shastras will say. But that is what the cycle of body goes. What to be surprised or annoyed or disturbed or fearful of that. So nothing to be afraid of body becoming elder, becoming sick, and one day it will die. So, but the best thing is we do not die. We are immortal. We are divine. We have to understand that. That has been said loudly again and again by the scriptures so profoundly. Scriptures, they say, come to us so friendly, like a mother. They hold our tiny feet and say, please understand this, that you don't die, you are Atman, you are not body. They implore to understand the reality of ourselves. And here we are, we don't understand. We all consider this body to be real. And the scriptures, then there are the ones, Swami Vivekananda will come, he say, believe that you are the Atman, you are the spark of divine, you are not going to die. Believe in that. But we do not try to believe, we do not seek to believe, we do not seek to realize. So here the power of spirituality comes, practice comes. If we could somehow realize, by anyhow, sa chaturi chaturi, many cleverness in the world, many cleverness to do things in the world. But real cleverness is to somehow realize that I am immortal self. Somehow to understand that. When we understand my identity as the self, then there is no fear of death, all is gone. And that is called God realization. When Janaka was being taught by his teacher, and Janaka realized God. He had realization of the truth. And what does his teacher said? Janaka, abhayam vai praptosi, you have attained the fearlessness. You are no way you are afraid of anything, not even of death. You have gone beyond fear. So that is what we can go beyond fear only when we have realized our true self. To realize true self, Shankaracharya will say, try to remember always that you are self and say again to yourself that I am divine, I am Atman, and try to dissociate or disidentify from your identity with the body. And others will say, implore to God, hold on to your Ishta, hold on to God and say, Lord, may I realize that I am immortal, I am your spark, I am your part. And then when we realize that I am all given to Sri Ramakrishna, then we have no fear. And Sri Ramakrishna has given so many words. Holy Mother said, at the time of death, those who have followed Sri Ramakrishna, to them Sri Ramakrishna have to come. So our everything is secured. In this life, we are enjoying this life. When we are gone, at the time, where to go, what will be the dark place or light place, which life or mukti, we don't know anything. Nothing to fear. There is guide standing there. Sri Ramakrishna waiting for us. Come on my lap, my child, come to my feet, and he will take us to Sri Ramakrishna Loka, as we call it. So there is nothing to be afraid of death. And death is not something to be very fearful. Many people who have talked about their near-death experience, most of them have said that is so blissful experience. Holy Mother herself once went out of the body. And then she said, I don't want to get into this body, into this world at all. So this identification with the body is the cause of fear. When we can disidentify with the body, then fearlessness will come. And that fear of death is common to every human being and every ignorant human being mostly. Every living being, they are all afraid of death because all consider death to be the death of themselves, death of body to be death of themselves. No doubt how we superimpose our identity on this body and are afraid. Whenever we superimpose something on other, there is fear. Like superimposition of snake on rope. Not understanding rope, the real thing, we consider it as snake. Then what happens? We are afraid. Oh, snake will bite me. Or sometimes snake is chasing me. It is there, nothing doing. It is rope. no power, no life. But in all our hallucination, we see snake is running after me, it will bite me, and then you run away from the snake. Other person comes, where was the snake? Let me go, no, where I saw the snake when you are saying, and puts the light, and no, there is a rope. Seeing the rope as the snake, seeing this body as myself, and we are getting afraid of that. So, fear of death has to be conquered with the power of spirituality, with the grace of God, and that is possible. Who is the blindest among blind? One who is attached. We can see for ourselves how much we are attached to the things. We are attached, if not to our property, then with our relations. If not to our relations, then of course with our body. Attachment with the body, which is not I, but still I love it so much. So much I love, I don't want to let it go. Body is not me, this attachment is the blindness. We are blinded by this ignorance that I am not this body. So this attachment to the thing. Now this attachment and love, often we will say, oh, you ask not to get attached to our children, to our relations. You say love everybody and you say don't get attached to anything. Yes, you can love without attachment. In fact, when there is attachment, there is no love. Love is always without attachment. When there is no attachment, there is true love comes. Attachment is very selfish ideal. You think for yourself. You want to enjoy company, you want to be together with that, you want to possess that. That is attachment. And love is giving freedom for other things, whom you love. And you want their good and nothing else. You pray for them and you don't want them to hold them closer to you. And so love is not attachment. You can love the whole world without being slightly attached. You can love and treat your body respectfully as the instrument for your God realization or to fulfill the purpose of your life without being least attached to the body. Take it care when it is sick, go to hospital. When it needs cleanliness, do it everything that it needs. So that is not attachment. Some objective. We clean table, we clean chair, we clean bed. We don't consider bed to be myself, but we still keep it clean. Like that we can keep the body clean without being attached to it. Once Swami Bhaskarananda had just joined the order, and in Shillong, in Meghalaya, in India. And he was just brahmachari novice, and Swami Gahananji was past president of our order. Then at that time he was in charge of manager of Shillong ashram. Then Bhaskaranji somehow got fever, and then he didn't show to doctor. Next day again that fever didn't subside. Then Gahananji asked him, how are you keeping? He asked him, Maharaj, having fever since 2 days. And then Gahananji asked, did you go to doctor? He said, no, what to go to doctor? Body is like that, it gets fever, it will die. After all, what is to concern so much to this body? Tibra Vairagya, new Vairagya is Tibra Vairagya. So then Gahananji said, whose body is this? Then it was little perplexed, but then he said, why Maharaj, this is my body. Then Gahananji's answer is excellent. He said, it might be your body before you joined the order. After you have given your everything to Sri Ramakrishna, it is now Sri Ramakrishna's body. And it is your responsibility to take care of this body as Sri Ramakrishna's property. You love Thakur and we are his servant, you have to take care of the property of Sri Ramakrishna. Now this body has to serve Sri Ramakrishna, you have to take care of this property of Sri Ramakrishna so it properly serves Sri Ramakrishna. Like that we have to take care of the body as an instrument to realize the truth, as an instrument to serve God. How much you serve this society, how much you serve through your songs and through your presence, through your making food, through your love for this center, how much you serve. So you need to try to make this body fit and as far as possible, but not get attached to that. When it is sick, it has to be taken to hospital, but without any fear. Oh, if it is cancer, I will die. So that is nothing like that. Once Swami told, in fact Atma Gyananji told one person, I liked that so much. He told some parent had son, child, something happened sick. And the parent was very worried, oh, child is sick, Swami, what to do? Then Swami said, why are you so much worried for the child? You have come here. You are giving treatment, you are giving medicine, doctor has been consulted, it will be cured. Why are you worried for that? Don't get worried, do everything what you have to do. All fear should go by our devotion to God and reliance on the Supreme Being. And do everything that is to be done and be free from fear, from worries. Concern? Okay, little concern, of course you will have. Love is there, you have to concern for everyone. But not getting attached to the thing and getting perplexed with the situations that are inevitable to come. So what is the other question? Let's go to the next question. Who is the brave one? So the answer is very unusual for a spiritual book. He who is not struck by the glance arrows of an amorous woman. So what it says is self-control. Do you remember when Swami Vivekananda gave that famous speech in Parliament of Religions? And whole women, they thronged to touch his hem. And there was one lady sitting, and he said in her mind, if you can save yourself from this onslaught, I will call you God. It is such a thing. It is not easy. It is a very practical thing. It calls only about women. It's for women and men. Wherever it said man, please add woman. Whenever it said woman, please add man also. The same thing is for both the genders. So that is something that is very brave. That's why he says it is the very brave work, because you are not identified with the body. You have overcome your bodily identification with the body and beyond all the idea of any attraction for other gender. So this is very high stage when you are unaffected by anything, by any gender, particularly for youthful people. Old age, this all goes away. But youthful people, this is so much, it is not written only for the old people like us. It is written for whoever reads, for the youthful people. That's why it makes a sense to write that he is a brave one. So one when considers brave, he will try to face that with bravery and will control himself. It's all about self-control. That is so much said. Self-controlled person is the brave person. To say that, he spoke in this way. So, if we go to verse 8, it says, Patum Karnanjalibhi kimamritamida yujjate sadupadesha. What should be heard as a nectarine experience by the ears? Nectarine of the ears, very sweet to the ears. The advice of holy men. So when it is nectarine, you will feel acceptable. You will feel joy in hearing that. That as when Sri Ramakrishna used to speak, people used to glue what Sri Ramakrishna spoke. Yam describes very beautifully. When he came and heard Sri Ramakrishna speaking to others, he said, what a peaceful place. It is like Shukadeva explaining the Bhagavata. He immediately remembered of Shukadeva and Bhagavata. So much of joy was there. And that's why his all conversation, Yam described as Amrita, Katha Amrita, words of nectar, that is Sri Ramakrishna's words. Holy men's advice are like that. People used to go and just used to glue to his words. There were some who didn't like, were not interested. There are many types of people also. Sri Ramakrishna says there are different kinds of trees. When Malaya breeze blows, then trees turn into sandalwood. But there are some trees like cottonwood, that will not turn into sandalwood. So there are some people who even could not find joy in Sri Ramakrishna's words. And one person, his friend had come, he was enjoying what Sri Ramakrishna was speaking, like in nectar to his ears. But his friend was hurried to go somewhere. And he nudged this person, how long you are sitting here? And Sri Ramakrishna was all observing that while he's speaking. He was such a great observer of everything, you know that. Everything he used to observe so minutely. And after that, sometime this friend was not going. Then he said, okay, I go and sit in the boat, you come after you finish here. So he would not listen that. For him, it is not Amrita, because he is not able to enjoy. Not that everyone would like the taste of a very delicious, delicious article. So, delicious dish. So, you have to have the taste grown for that. So, like that, what is the most nectarian to the words? Advice of the holy. So that is what is so beautiful to listen, and it is not only to listen, it is very beneficial for us. What makes one respectable? What makes one respectable? So, not begging for favors. So that is what, seek not, avoid not. That's karma yoga. Don't ask for any favors from anyone. Not only asking, don't seek any favors from anyone. Do you remember today we had the Holy Mother's song? Holy Mother told to a young child, many of you remember that, and she was going from Kolkata to Jairambati, and that young girl, she loved Holy Mother very much. And she said, Mother, you are going, we are very unhappy that you are leaving us. And then Mother asked him, do you love me so much? How much you love me? She spread her tiny hands and said, I love you so much. But how will I know that you love me so much? Then the girl couldn't answer. Then she asked, how could you give the proof of my enormous love for you? Then she said, if you love me, don't ask any favor from anyone. And when you ask any favor from anyone, someone you love more and someone you love less. You have to love everyone like you love me. That was Holy Mother's instruction. And when you ask something, someone will give, someone will not give. Those who will give you favor, you will love that person more. Oh, that is so good. I asked that person, he gave me or she gave me immediately that. That who could not give, then you will say, oh no, she ignored me, he ignored me, like that you will say. So don't ask any favor from anyone. That's what exactly Shankara says here, not begging favors from anyone. So that is what is so important. Holy Mother asked, don't ask anything from any human being, What about asking from God? So we can ask from God. So first is the thing, what to ask. One is the things of the world we ask. We can definitely pray for someone who is sick. One devotee's son-in-law is sick, and I will definitely pray for her son-in-law. So that we can ask. Asking for others is always wonderful than asking for your own self. Oh Lord, I have so much headache, Thakur, please reduce my headache. Instead of saying that, that person is suffering from headache, please remove his or her headache. That is more better. Actually, I went to Kailas with Arundhati was here, she is not here today. So Arundhati and Mr. Saha, I went to Kailas, and we had parikraman, wonderful scenery, difficult pilgrimage, very high altitude, difficulty in breathing, difficulty in walking because of breath, gasping, less oxygen. All I enjoyed. Then after completing that, I sat in the bus coming back to Canada, in Tibet itself. And then I started praying for all the people. Lord Shiva, please bless all them who couldn't come. So I remembered the people, devotees, and prayed for them. And that was so beautiful moment for me. I remember that how much joy I gained by just praying for other people. So when you do something for other, even pray for other, that is the highest and best joyful time for you. So we can definitely pray to God for other. So with that, we can pray to God for purity, for knowledge, for spiritual wealth. Lord, make me free from this ignorance and attachment with the body. When shall I realize that I am Atman? So much you told, Swami Vivekananda tells, scriptures tell, all Swamis that they give talk, all they say, we are the pure consciousness, sweetness consciousness, we are not the body. But no realization on that side. Lord, give me that understanding. If we pray, our progress towards understanding will be definitely faster. So your own endeavor and prayer. So, not begging favors, but asking to God for what is our spiritual, what will help in our spiritual unfoldment. Let's go to verse 9. Kim Gahanam Stri Charitam. Again said something about the women. What is difficult to understand? The nature of women. So it is just said the nature of woman, but it can be of anybody. So Shankara chose to say nature of the women because many people cannot handle, cannot deal. He might have heard the case of some people who were from men he heard mostly. From women he didn't hear any case. He heard mostly from men. And that's why he says about the women only. If he had heard from women also, then we had said men and women. What is difficult? Nature of men and women. Equally, there is no difference at all between the nature of men and women. What is very difficult to understand? What is inside the mind of others? How will you understand that? Someone was in TED talk also, was comparing brain of man and brain of woman. I don't know if some of you have seen. It said brain of man is very straight, brain of women are very complicated, goes here and there, difficult to understand, difficult to fathom. He said that remark, but that is for fun. In reality, there is no difference between the thought process of men and women. All are equally spiritual, all are equally simple, and all are equally complex also. Men are also very complex and complicated people. I have heard so many cases of men that they were so much dubious and they had so bad character, so that is always there. So here it doesn't fit only to call up the men, but it is difficult to understand if you want to have something to understand what is hidden in the mind of others. That is the thing. You cannot really understand what is most difficult to understand, the mind of other persons. But why do we need to understand the mind of other persons? We need to understand what is in our mind. There is a lot of things in our mind that is to be straightened. Why you have to think about what is there in men or women, what is there? So think about your own mind and straighten your ideas and thoughts. Be simple and Sri Ramakrishna's language. Mon mukh ek karo. Try to speak what you think, what you feel. Don't be hypocrite. Think one way and speak another way. So that is hypocrisy. That harms you more than what you say by just making the thing. So if you want spirituality, be simple and make what you think, what you feel, that you speak. That is the real thing. So what is another question? Who is clever? Ko jagarti. Who is clever? Who is always awake? The answer is, question 9. Kas chaturo yona khanditas tena. Who does not become slave of females? Again it is here that because all that men came there and he said be strong. Sri Ramakrishna also says in the gospel. If you read the gospel, he says, people come here and they praise all about their wives and nothing more than that. There is no one other person as good as his wife, and all praise in his wife he will do. So like that, he really he says that for the people who, instead of thinking and loving God more, they love their spouse more, their children more. This is all about from the attachment. That's why he explains that way. Who is clever? Who does not become slave of... Who is not a slave of females? To men, he said. If Sri Ramakrishna's case also exactly like that. Mostly men used to come to talk And then he spoke about men, how they should stand on their feet and not stand up. He said, at the wife's words, he stands up and sit down. He stands up, sit down. That's how Sri Ramakrishna also made fun of those some husbands like that. But because only husbands came, when women came, that time Yam was not there. Sri Ramakrishna must have said, some people are there who praise their husband, and the husband sits down and wife sits down on husband's thing. He must have said something like that. Be firm on yourself, have self-dignity, self-respect, and love all with the self-respect. That's what is meant by here. With this answer is that. What is misery? Dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction with everything. There are some people really who are very unhappy, very pessimistic people, unhappy with everything. The world is now, it's Hor Kali Yuga, world has become so bad, it is going to fall. One person used to come to me in Toronto. He said, Swamiji, world is now going so bad, it has gone really very bad. Young man being so pessimistic, so I tried to say, but Sri Ramakrishna, when he is born, Satya Yuga has come. No, Swamiji, that Swami Vivekananda has written, but I see the world now, so many very bad people. Everyone he was seeing was all bad. So much pessimistic, seeing bad in everything. How can be he happy person? To be happy, you have to see the thing, good things. For Swami Vivekananda says, for common man, this world is a mixture. For a wicked man, this is all evil. Pessimistic person, wicked, all evil, all bad, everything is bad. And for a saint, everything is divine. Same world whom wicked saw and sees as some bad, worse, miserable. Saint sees same world as divine. Everyone is so good, because where you focus on that, it happens. Human beings, this world is a mixture of all good and bad. Where you focus, that it happens. So when you see good things in others, there are so many good things. If you go and search only what is shortcoming, what is weakness, then you will find all those. Someone said to one person, don't be drain inspector in your life. Only searching where is drain, where is dirt, where is bad. Don't be that. Search good things, happy things, joyful things. That will make you happy. When you see positive thing in others, that will give you positive ideas. You will be optimistic. World is full of joy. That Sri Ramakrishna said that story. When some poet, some devotee wrote, Dunya dhokar tati. It is all deception here. All looks one way and our reality different. Everyone is wearing mask as it were. Like that one person said. So as if we are not believing anyone, everyone seems to be wearing mask, not showing real face. So that was his study. Another person said, what do you say? It's not that. It is moja tati. There's a lot of fun and joy here. You have to get the fun in this world. So many good things, so many good people. Even in every person there is so many good qualities. So try to find that, explore that qualities. And you will find so much joy in everyone. So that's how, try to search goodness here and you will find all goodness. Fill yourself with goodness. You will hardly see any bad in any other person. All you will see everything good. Swami Vivekananda goes to see a thief enters into a room and a child doesn't know that he is a thief. Because thief is not there in the child. We suspect anyone coming, oh, he might be thief, he might take away. What is the purpose he has come? So like that with all negative thing it happens. So there is already thief and negative thing in our mind. So when, particularly in the ashrams, we are all trained to think that way. Anybody coming, whether he is good or bad, we all think he is invited by Sri Ramakrishna, he is a good person, he is a devotee. So that is first our idea about people coming, and we think in that way. After that he turns out to be someone bad, then other consequences there. One police officer told to one Swami, Swami, difference between police and Swami, you know what? When you see somebody, you always think he is a saintly person, he is a good person. And whenever we see any one person, we always doubt, he might be criminal, he might be thief. That is how we look upon the things. So if we want to be spiritual, we have to try to see goodness in others. There is plenty of goodness in everyone. Even in thief there is goodness. Even in thief there is goodness. Swami Vivekananda says, everyone does everything out of love. Thief also steals because of love for something, some purpose. He didn't have something and that's why he stole. You can see from that angle. It is illegal, unjustified, unjust thing, not to be done. But you can change the ideas. So that's what when Sri Ramakrishna tells a story, there was a theft in her house and they caught the thief and then they beat him very mercilessly. And then they said, oh, doesn't he know whose house is this, where he has come? So naturally when there is a thief, what they will do? There was no 911 there at that time in India, so they would punish them. So then what is one supposed to do for a thief when it comes? So you hold him, give him to police, but have mercy about him, try to ask questions, talk to him. You will generate peace, you will generate some compassion for that person. Why he is stealing? If after all he is a human being like me, what made him do such thing that should not be done? So you will find mercy even for the people who do something wrong that is not to be done. So this way we become more considerate. We can change the life like that. So how the life of a thief was changed by Pavahari Baba, just out of his love for that person. Pavahari Baba, one thief came to the hermitage of Pavahari Baba. Pavahari Baba was a great saint, Tyagi, Sarvat Tyagi. And he had nothing. He had some cooking pot, some eating plate, nothing. The thief comes to his cottage, hermitage, and takes away at night and bundles of the thing and wants to go away. Suddenly that bundle of things falls and Pavahari Baba wakes up and says, who is there? Then thief scales the wall and runs far ahead. Then Pavahari Baba takes that bundle and runs after that thief. Thief is running out of fear. Pavahari Baba eats only air, eats very little food, thin person. And he ran so fast, he caught him. Thief was very afraid. Now, lot of beating and people will come, police will catch. To his surprise, Pavahari Baba gives that bundle to him and he says, you need it, why were you afraid? I didn't know that you were doing something, I thought something fell and got up. Please take this. It was such a surprise to this thief. You know what? Thief thought about this incident. And he said, such a greatness person can rise. I am stealing his things and he is giving everything to me. Something is great in this saintliness, in this renunciation, in this becoming a monk. He renounced the world, went to Himalayas, did austerity, did tapasya, and became a monk of very high status. Very high-grade monk, the thief turned. Ratna-Malika changing into Valmiki is not only Ramayana, you're in Treta Yuga. This Yuga also, such stories are there. And Swami Vivekananda made that thief in the Himalayas. So such stories happen out of mercy, out of love. Change of the heart always happen.
Swamiji, here we had a thief come in. So Swamiji gave him money, they took him to a hotel.
My God. You see?
And the third day he came again to steal again.
Swamiji will again give because he will say, oh, this thief is not giving up his habit. I becoming a monk, how can I give up my habit? He will say, take this. Similar incident was Shiva Maharaj is there in Hollywood. Elderly Maharaj, he was there, he passed away recently. So he, very saintly Swami, American Swami, very elderly, more than 80 years, 85 years of age, had gone for a walk in Hollywood. Our Hollywood center is very close to Hollywood, town, just up above the hill, few meters away, few feet down. So he was walking there in the evening. One homeless person comes and asks some money. And he searches his pocket, he didn't bring money. And this homeless person was so angry because he was not giving. He thought he was in pants shirt, he thought he would have money, and he's not giving. He ill-treated him, beat him. threw him on the ground. He started bleeding. And what does Shiva Maharaj does? He says, brother, I am sorry, I didn't bring anything. I should have brought some money for you guys. I didn't know. I'm so sorry, I don't have money. Then he was going, bleeding in the face. He was going back to the ashram, still saying, brother, I am really sorry for not giving it. You needed something. See the heart of a saint, that story of a scorpion being saved when he was drowning by a saint. And stung every time he tried to save. That story you find in our time. There are many people like that, very high order of saintly persons. So that is the thing that would happen. What is misery? Dissatisfaction with everything in the present world. So, next question in the verse 8 is, what makes one unworthy of respect? So again, similar answer, asking favors from anyone and everyone. So it basically says, don't be dependent on others for anything. Depend on God. If you have to ask anything, ask God. And things will be given. Don't be dependent on things that you ask from anyone and everyone for favors. So this is, that makes unworthy of respect. You lose the respect when you ask favors. So asking to God is fine. When Swami Vivekananda came to Sri Ramakrishna, he asked only to Sri Ramakrishna, no one else, to his friends or his relations, nowhere he went to ask when he was in dire poverty. It was not for himself, it was for his family, his brothers, sisters, and his mother. He didn't ask anyone. He came to Sri Ramakrishna and said, please do something. My family members are not eating anything. I skip the food and in pretending to have invitation somewhere, go and remain hungry so that whatever remains little in the house, they share and eat. That condition now, that is also all gone. Please pray to Mother, and Mother can grant. That much faith in Divine Mother he already had through this process. Swami Vivekananda later on says, oh, this Divine Mother finding me in dire situation, she made me her slave and made me do whatever she likes me to do. She says, jokingly she says that, she had made me her slave. And he comes to and says to Sri Ramakrishna, with full faith and confidence that if Sri Ramakrishna prays to Divine Mother, he will be saved from this dire poverty. He will have necessary things, food, etc. And what Sri Ramakrishna does, he says, why should I go? You go yourself. Today is a good day, man, you go and pray to Mother. He never went to Mother before that. It was sometime in, I think, about 2 years after he started coming. So he never went to, before that, then he goes to Divine Mother in the temple to ask for some favors for his family. And he goes and totally forgets what to ask. He comes face to face with the Divine, has the living God's presence there. As Sri Ramakrishna had the vision of Mother, Swami Vivekananda also had vision of Mother. It is not written that way. He couldn't ask anything. He came back. Sri Ramakrishna asked, did you ask about the thing that you wanted? Oh, I forgot. He went second time, forgot again, third time. Third time he went, remembered. Then what he asked, didn't ask for any favors of the things that will support his family. Rather asked for richness of spiritual wealth. Give me knowledge, give me vairagya, give me purity of heart, give me bhakti, give me your uninterrupted vision of yourself. He already had the vision. Heart changed. Divine Mother is reality could find. And then he came to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, did you ask this time? No, I could not. Then what did you ask? I asked for spiritual treasures. They said, don't worry, you have done the right thing. You will have no dearth of coarse cloth and basic and simple food. That will be provided to you. Sri Ramakrishna could provide that earlier. He could have said that, but he wanted him to go there. Like that, ask, if we have to ask the thing, let us ask from God. He will provide us what we need. And if we are becoming spiritual, we'll ask for something higher. Give us purity of heart. Give us deep love for your lotus feet. Give us Atma Jnana. That we will ask. That will come as our spiritual evolution is there in us. That will happen. verse 9. Verse 10, verse 10. Kim jivitam anavadyam. What is fecal and why only for a short time? Youth, where is that called? No, chapter, verse 11. Verse, it should be, that's 10, where 10. Kim jivitam, what is an ideal life? It is a life which stands above all criticism. So, we have to lead a life where nobody can find anything wrong in us. At least when we do something wrong, first one who notices wrong is we ourselves. Notice that it has not been done right. I should not have done that way. Or even before we commit some mistake, some wrong, inner voice says, no, don't go that way, it is not right thing. We are coming from, if we come from India and have brought mangoes, and their officer says at the customs, they are invariably asking an Indian coming from India, they will ask, have you brought mango during mango season? Have you asked mangoes? And if you say, no, that is wrong, you are committing, and you know they are telling a lie, if your inner sense says, rather than say, yes, I have brought mangoes. And after that, leave up to him whether he allows or he asks you to discard. Whatever is the law, rule, whatever is the permission given, accept that. That is so easy. One person in Austin came to meet his grandchildren. And the officer there at the customs said, have you brought some fruits, mangoes? He said, I brought 2 mangoes from my tree for my grandchildren. So he said, but you cannot take mangoes, it is not allowed because it has seeds, you can bring from other country. Not even from Hawaii you can bring the fruits, that is part of the USA. So, but he was pleading to the officer, please my grandchildren I brought, it's my tree, just for two persons, I have so much wish and all that. Officer was very nice, very humble, very nice. She didn't say, I say that to you, you cannot take. She could have told that way. What was he said? If I allow you, I will be discharged from my job, I will not be doing my duty. Do you want that? How beautiful approach. And that person, he was not allowed to do, and finally he disposed that. And he was all praised for this officer who didn't relent to his request for taking the mangoes. And that's how we can find that what wrong we do. First we find. And then we respect ourselves. I do not commit any wrong knowingly. And then others also start respecting. When we have our own self-respect, that self-respect will be reflected in our behavior and attitude. And that is not the pride. And that self-respect is seen and perceived by others, and they respect you. So when you don't commit anything wrong, you attain that self-respect. It is a life which stands above all criticism. What is inertness? It consists in not practicing what one has learned. We learn so many things, so many YouTube talks, so many books, so many lectures, and how much we learn. But sometimes what happened, people used to go to listen Vedanta talks earlier when there was no YouTube or this recording was there. And grandmother used to go and listen 1 hour talk. And she came back home. And grandchild said, how was the talk, grandmother? Did you like it? Oh, Swami spoke so eloquently. It was very nice. But what was the subject matter? What did you learn? Oh, it is Vedanta. Can it be understood so easily? Vedanta is not understood. So she is saying to her grandchild that it is Vedanta means that something you don't understand, go and listen and come back and don't practice, don't understand. That is Vedanta. So like that is our case also. We are like that grandmother. We understand something, but we really practice, try to practice what we hear. Because it is all Vedanta, it is goal. Sometimes it goes above head. Somebody says, it is very nice, but goes all above head. And sometimes it doesn't enter. Swami Sarvapriyananda says about 3 types of preachers. In one talk, he must have got from some scripture. So one pitcher is already full. One pitcher is already full. You want to put something, it doesn't go in. One pitcher has got many holes. You put it in, goes, but it immediately comes out. You understand? But no retention, no practice. And one picture is that nothing goes in. It is empty, but nothing goes in. Why? Because it is put upside down. Refuse to enter. Go and listen and refuse to enter. So like that we all become. So that is the inertness. That is tamas, says here Shankara. That when we don't practice what we study, what we listen, that is inertness. What is inertness? It consists in not practicing what one has learned. Who is vigilant? Ko jagarti, one who has the power of discernment. Discrimination is the word used earlier. One who has the power to distinguish, to find out the right thing. That is jagarti, always awake and always alert. This alertness in spiritual life is very important. We hear many things. In our life also we commit mistake when we are not alert. And Shankara in Viveka Chudamani says, mistakes or this inadvertentness happens when we are not alert. And when these mistakes start happening, when we realize it has become too powerful to rectify. So it has to be corrected in the very beginning, and gives the example of ball falling through the staircase. At the first step, it is less speed. You can hold on to that. But if at the towards end it becomes very fast and powerful to go, then you cannot hold it, you cannot catch it. So that is like our mistake. When it comes and we are alert, we can find in the beginning. And then we can rectify. Though it should not be done that way. It is wrong to think that way. It is wrong to do that way. It is wrong to behave that way, and we can rectify. And when we are not alert, we go on committing mistake even without our awareness, and it becomes big snowball effect. And then you can do nothing. So this viveki, ko jagarti, who is awake, who is practicing discernment. So that's what Shankara tries to say. All in these small questions and answers, he tries to give us the tidbits for spiritual life, to make our, as he said, it is not only for the spiritual life, it is for making life here and hereafter, life in the world and the life, spirituality, a better life, a happy life. All these tidbits are given by Shankaracharya. Thank you very much.
We have roughly a half hour, a little bit less. Anyone with a quick couple of